Hey, coach, you pressing them buttons hard as hell.
You hear that through there?
Yeah, I can hear it. Y'all know we waiting for Instagram to go up. Hello, hello, hello. Instagram is going up on a Monday. Hello, hello, hello. It's your boy, the Beast One. Welcome to Dad Mentality Podcast. I'm glad that y'all are joining us again this week. Today, we got a special guest. We got the people's lawyer, Johnathon Newton. This gentleman, I've been excited to get him here. I've been hoping and praying to get him here for a while. So we're going to have him here. Make sure that you put in the comments any of your questions, anything that you have to ask. And, we're going to pick his brain and see what you need to do if you ever get yourself in trouble. Y'all know what it is. Dad mentality.
What is that's mentality? What it is? The mentality of taking care of family. As a man, I get lonely. I can't even call my homies, but I answer every call when my kids call me. I'll be there when they need me. They depending on me. They looking up to me. Sometimes we gotta fix our mental. Or maybe it's not meant to be a dad, a father, that's what men do. I made a promise to my kids, that's what I do. I just want them to do things better than I do. Or better yet, better things that I did. What is that's mentality? What it is? The mentality of taking care of family. As a man, I get lonely. I can't even call my homies, but I answer every call when my kids call me. I'll be there when they need me. They depending on me. They looking up to me. Welcome to the show, shout out to the coach. And Maddie Ice, Ice Cold Crypto. And each one, teach one. That's mentality, we just try to reach one. What is, that's mentality.
Hello, hello, hello. It's your boy, the Beast One. Welcome to Dad Mentality Podcast. Today, we got a great show for y'all today. I'm excited to be here. As y'all know, I don't do it by myself. So I'm going to go ahead and start out announce it first. Y'all know him as the diversified hustler. You know him as the ice cream man. You also know him as wealthy and blessed. It's my man, also Commanders fan, Maddie Ice Cold Crypto. What's up, Maddie Ice? How you doing today, sir? Representing?
What's good? Definitely what's good people. Happy to be here today.
You know
on this Victory Monday.
So I hope we talk about overcoming obstacles, because I had to overcome the obstacles and listen to a hater for this whole season of the football season. But we made it through. Oh, speaking of haters, but you see he representing because he lost a good old bet. But I like it when he pays his bets. So I've known him since we were 4 years old playing in the sandbox. He's my man, $1 million grand, even though he tried to trade up, because I knew him when he was wearing that Redskin starter pridefully. You know what I'm saying? I knew him when he had the Art Monk jersey on, running through the neighborhood trying to catch stuff, playing for the math, all that kind of stuff. That's what he was like. Oh, I was monking these dudes out here. You know what I'm saying? But now he's not. But y'all know Vance Ross, aka Coach. What's going on, Coach?
Hey man, don't worry. The fall is gonna be tremendous. You know what I'm saying? The fall is gonna be tremendous. But you know what I'm saying?
Nah, we good. We playing with house money,
Go
man.
ahead and say Super Bowl. I'm waiting for somebody to say it. Go ahead and say Super Bowl.
Nah,
somebody on the show go and say Super Bowl today.
I ain't saying that. You know what I'm saying?
Somebody gonna say Super Bowl. It's either gonna be Matt or Beast.
That's all you can say now, because we done already overachieved. You ain't expect us to go this far.
All right, fellas. We're gonna get into this game.
Wait a minute. In the famous words of Ricky Bobby, if you ain't first, you're last. You know what I'm saying?
We definitely finished further than your boy Love, though.
Anyway, fellas, we're going to go ahead and move on to the actual great part of the show. We got a special guest today. He is an African-American, a believer. He is a husband, a father, a social justice advocate. He is an author. He is an attorney at law. He's also the president of the National Association Against Police Brutality. this is I can call him a friend. He's also a great lawyer. I know that. I know, not to say I do know it personally, but you know what I'm saying. I know who to call if I ever get in trouble. And that's my man, the people's lawyer, Johnathon Newton. What's up, sir? How you doing today, sir?
That introduction, brother. I really appreciate that. Doing good. Doing good.
I appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to spend it with us and the people out there. Miss Allison already said hello to us, and so make sure anybody watching on my Facebook. Sometimes I don't get the comments on my Facebook, so please go to Dad Mentality or our YouTube and put the comments in there so that I can answer any questions or Johnathon Newton can answer any questions if you have anything towards that. I am going to say we ain't giving out no legal advice, so don't be telling us what you did and how he can get you out, because that ain't going to happen.
Go to jail.
Yeah. This will be used against you in the court of law. So, you know, ask questions that can be answered. So anyway, but welcome to the show, sir. We're going to hurry up and go through our because I'm going to get into the interview part. So we're going to go through our mental health check-in. I'm going to go ahead and go first. And for my mental health check-in, you know I'm feeling good. It's Victory Monday. My Commanders made a win. Coach is wearing the hat. I don't know how life can get any better right now. So, you know, I'm going to go ahead and give myself a strong 8.5. I do have some stuff I'm still working on this week. I've prayed, and I think that a lot of things that I've been concerned about will be answered this week. So I'm hoping that it will be. And, you know, I'm just going to look forward to that. So I'm about an 8.5. Matty X, how you feeling, man? How you feeling this week?
I'm feeling all right, man. That game yesterday definitely brought me up a few points, man. So I'm probably about a 7.5, man. Just dealing with a few things this week. I know I was off last week, man, so I didn't get a chance to talk, but Christmas, holidays, and New Year's, man, was just a little bit of a challenge, man. Just dealing with a few things with my wife, man. So we actually spent Christmas Eve and all the that whole Christmas week in the hospital with her dealing with some stuff, man. So she's home comfortable and everything now, but still dealing with a few things and still got to go back and take care of some stuff. So just been dealing with a few challenges like that this first of the year and at the end of the year that we working through. What we making it do what it do and pushing through. Right now probably about a 7.5, man. Just trying to get back on track, man, so I can get this new year off to a great start. So just trying to get back on track for this new year.
Yes, excellent. Coach, let us know how you feel. You look nice, man. You look like you're in a good mood. All handsome.
I'm in a great mood, man. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, football is football, right? You know what I'm saying? When your friends happy, they make you happy. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? When you down in the dumps and your friends happy, hey, you know what I'm saying? You can only be happy for your friends, man. You know what I mean? It's good to see y'all winning. You know what I mean? Y'all think about all the years I had to watch y'all just dragging ass about the daggone
man, let's not talk about the past. Let's talk about today.
See y'all win.
It's a whole new era, man. We got new ownership. Those last 20 years don't count.
You know what I'm saying? Because you know your favorite coach as soon as y'all fall off this cliff, you know what's gonna happen. So it's all good. I'm gonna build you back up. You know what I mean? But my week, you know what I'm saying, over the last week wasn't bad. You know what I'm saying? It was a pretty busy week. You know what I'm saying? The snow, of course, had us shoveling.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which is ridiculous. We talked a little bit about it last week, Matt, when you missed out. But you know what I'm saying, all in all, you know what I'm saying, getting, you know what I'm saying, back into the groove of things at the beginning of the year, you know, New Year's resolutions, you know what I'm saying, just different year goals, you know what I mean? Just starting to strive towards those, you know what I mean? I finally got my goals kind of, you know what I'm saying, lined up, and now it's just time to execute, you know what I mean? So, not on social media, you know what I'm saying, as of, you know what I'm saying, Monday, today, actually. So it's kind of trying to chill from that normally for the first couple months, you know what I mean? And I mean, just going from there, you know what I'm saying, try to accomplish some things in this first quarter of the year, you know what I mean? Because it's the most important quarter, You know what I mean? You started off right. You know what I'm saying? You can kind of keep momentum going. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm still riding on high from, you know what I'm saying, New Year's and Christmas. But this week is going to be testing, you know what I'm saying, from just being busy, both at, you know what I'm saying, work and a part-time job, wife business. So, you know what I'm saying? I think I'm probably at about an 8 still right now. You know what I mean? So, and just physically, I'm feeling better. Like, I'm actually really starting to feel like myself, you know what I'm saying, the last couple months. So, that's a good thing.
Excellent.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see how you feeling. You know, mental health is important to us at Dad Mentality Podcast. So, you know, if you want to make sure y'all check in in the comments, let us know how you feeling from 0 to 10. And let's get into Johnathon Newton. How you feeling today, and where you at as far as your rating from 0 to 10, and what you're looking forward into this week?
So right now I would say I'm on about a 9. You know, usually when I start off on a Monday, by Friday I'll be a solid 5. You know, it's just the job is taxing. You know what I'm saying? I'm, you know, on every weekend that I can get, I recharge my batteries mentally, and you know, I start the day off always on a positive note, and you know, I'm going through some things that as I look at 2025 that I know that I want to do differently than 2024, and so I'm trying to stay proactive about those things. A lot with managing my time resources and the interactions that I have with a lot of people. What happens with these businesses where you're helping people with issues is you're taking care of their needs, and you're never really taking care of or prioritizing your own needs and the needs of your whole family. And so for me, I'm really trying to be conscientious about that. I'm not going to, you know, if I'm not here for people, then I, you know, nobody will be served. As far they'll go someplace else, obviously, but it won't do anybody any good, particularly my family. And so what I've done now is I'm just looking at, you know, as I go throughout the week, sort of controlling, you know, my level of anxiousness, try to be conscious and in the very moment that I'm in for whatever I'm doing, just to be focused. Because as you know, man, I deal with so many different things that they can become taxing mentally. And then by the time you hit the end of the day, you're exhausted, and then you start the very next day, and you get another double down. So I try to rejuvenate every day. But right now, man, I'd say I'm on a 9, and the reason is because just to be able to see a situation like this, for intelligent Black men be able to sit down and have a conversation about anything, to me, it's not only inspirational, but it's actually therapeutic and exciting. So I appreciate the opportunity to be here.
Thank you. Nah, I appreciate it, man. I'm definitely going to lock that in as a soundbite too. So I'm gonna go ahead and. But I appreciate you coming here. I know your time is valuable, you know, because you usually charge by the hour. I'm glad you ain't charging me for this hour, but you know, it's still good. But I appreciate it. But you know, when I met you, I just want to give a little background. I did meet. I met you on business on my end because you also are entrepreneur. You want to give a quick shout out to your restaurant, okay, so I can go into that.
We have one on Main Street, which is called the Lunchbox, and it is just a little small dive where you can pick up tacos and sandwiches and salads and wings. And then we have another one over in Sea Pleasant called Poppy's Taco and Latin Grill, which was the main one that we bought back in 2022. And so, you know, those are our two main businesses that we have that my wife runs, and that's it. I'm a serial entrepreneur. I also recently acquired an auto repair facility over in Temple Hills. So we got a little 2-bay auto repair place. So if you know anybody that needs an oil change or a brake job, we're even doing engine pulls over there. Not me, but I want to employ as many Black folks as I can and give us some opportunities with the resources that I have to be able to bring some of that stuff back into our own communities as far as ownership and equity.
There you go. We might have to call you to diversify a hustler out here. You know what I'm saying?
You on Main Street in Upper Marlboro?
Yes, sir. My law office is on Main Street in Upper Marlboro. I'm right across the street from the courthouse, right above Diego's bail bonds. Right now it's called A1 Monitoring, but that's where my law office is. And then the restaurant is right down the street, across from where Al's Diner used to be at. So in that little area where the Chinese restaurant is down here.
Okay.
Downtown, up on right by the courthouse. You can come check them out. So I met Johnathon there, and I went for my business, the company I work for. And then he told me his story, and I knew when he started telling me his story and telling me about the things he was doing and this, that, and the other, that I wanted to have him on his show then. And then he also gave me his card, and he was like, hey, if you're ever in trouble, let me know. Now, I personally was not in trouble, but I had a family member that did get in trouble. And the first thing I did was hand him that card. And, and from then we became, even in my opinion, I consider you a friend. And I consider you a person that I could call, talk to about anything. And I was like, yeah, I couldn't wait. But I wanted to wait until my family situation was solved and taken care of, which, I personally can vouch for you. You did an excellent job. Definitely. I didn't think there was a great outcome or a good outcome that came. And I feel like the best outcome did happen. So, as far as a lawyer, I definitely can vouch for that. And now as far as the food also, because the berry and tacos are off the chain. So if you ain't getting them berry or tacos, if you go to Poppy's, out in Capitol Heights, Maryland, just make sure you get the tacos and let me know. But I've seen some video you doing soul food and some more stuff. So I don't know exactly what, every time I see him, he's selling something different. He got something different, but I'm proud that you out here doing your thing, and but
I'll tell you how that happened. So many people came into the restaurant asking for soul food. I had two young ladies who said, we can make some soul food. And I said, well, let's see, bring it. We're going to do a taste test. Give me some baked beans, potato salad, green beans, and macaroni and cheese, and bring me some dishes, and let me see what you got, what you're working with. And they brought it in, and I was like, oh yeah, you could do the sides now. So then we did chicken and we did fish, and I do the barbecue. So I do the smoking on the barbecue, and we did a soul food Sunday, and it worked. And we're just going to go back at it again and again. And, we have we've been doing it on Sundays only, but we get ready to expand that to like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday and Sunday until we can scale it out entirely. But the food is, in the words of my kids, bussin'.
All right.
Check it out.
Well, let's get into your main profession, and that's the attorney at law. So I'm just curious, I kind of know some of your backstory of why, but can you tell the people out here why you became an attorney?
Certainly. I used to be a police officer down in Clayton County, Georgia, South Fulton County. The place that I worked for at one time, it was working for a sheriff, and I made some allegations against that particular sheriff at the time, and I say I blew the whistle. And the blowback was I ended up with a 13-count felony indictment myself. And so I went through that process. I was arrested, held on a $130,000 bond for 14 days. Then I was released. I was stayed out on bond for 27 months before every one of the charges was dropped. And I was offered my job back. And I just, at that point, I had enough of law enforcement. And so what I did was, while I was out on bond, I had decided to become a lawyer. My lawyer had said, hey, you really think good. I was like, well, dang, because I didn't grow up around the law at all. My father was a twice convicted felon. I was raised in my grandmother's house with an alcoholic grandfather, a schizophrenic uncle. My father went to prison when I was 5. He got back when I was 9. He went again when I was 12 and didn't get back until I was 19. So the lawyer says to me, man, you ought to go to law school. And that was like the first time anybody had ever said, oh, yeah, you should consider becoming a lawyer. And I said, well, if I don't go to prison, I'll go to law school. Okay. And he said, man, you're not going to prison. This case is, yes. He said it with such confidence, and, I took him seriously. And, because there was something that I did that I felt like, man, I should just, and my father, who was a twice convicted felon, he said, well, that's not a crime, even though you did it. And the lawyer said, how's your dad know that? I said, well, my dad is a jailhouse lawyer. And he said, your dad's spot on, brother. He said, your dad is spot on. And because if you don't have the experience, you really don't know. And so I I started studying for undergraduate, and then I went ahead to the LSAT, and then once I scored high enough on the LSAT, I started applying for law schools. So I got accepted to 3 or 4 law schools, but University of the District of Columbia gave me scholarship money, and I was like, well, I'm gonna go up there and see what it looks like. We came up here, we visited, and this was 2014. I started law school. I graduated in 2017. So my odyssey into the criminal justice system as a lawyer started as a police officer, then progressed to a criminal defendant, and then progressed to a lawyer, law student, and then lawyer. So that's what started it. Once I got into law school and started really I was mesmerized how much I didn't know, and I was a practicing, I was an actual police officer. So I literally a lot of, when I cross-examine a cop now, it's kind of like a highlight reel, because, most cops just know enough to get somebody arrested. They really don't know much about, what it takes to make a case. And I think they wield that power very loosely to arrest someone and cause all kinds of havoc. So I became a lawyer and passed the bar, came out here, opened up my own shop, and started doing initially just I was doing rent court, and I would do some traffic court, and then I progressed into DUIs and the more serious stuff. This September the 24th was my first murder case that I tried, and I tried it all the way, first degree murder case. I tried it all the way to an acquittal on all 3 counts. And so after that, I figured out, because part of this journey is like, I don't know if you ever go through this, but I go through that self-doubt, like, holy cow, I'm a lawyer now. Well, I can't be as good as the rest of these guys. And then when I was able to get that acquittal, I said, well, I think I might be a real lawyer now. And so I started,
the self-confirmation.
This, self-confirmation. When I remember when that guy came to my office, and he had been through 4 other lawyers, and the other lawyer said, that you should take a plea. And I said, well, let me dig into it and let me see what I can see here. And, I said, this is risky. Trials are risky. But if you want to go, I'm willing to go, and this is what I'm going to do. And we went in there. It's a 4-day trial, and he left a review on his wife left a review on my Google reviews that was just outstanding. But I always explain that to people during the intro, because how you start is not how you finish. And we cap a lot of dreams of young people with what their fathers and mothers did or didn't do, and so that was me for a great period of my life. And so once I went to law school, I was at over 40 years old, and I realized that I was just as smart as other people, but I had never been tapped. And what I mean by tapped, there's a lot of Black intelligence in our community that never gets tapped because for a myriad of reasons. I had never been really tapped, and what I mean by tapped is I had never been asked, what do you think about this? And so that's how I got into law. I practice it like a normal. I wasn't raised around a lot of persnickety bougie people, so I try to keep it. You ain't got to call me Mr. Newton and all this and that and the other. I'm Jonathan. I'm the people's lawyer. And I try to represent people with zeal and advocacy in my advocacy. And I just want to take this opportunity to really help as many people as I can.
Okay,
that's what's up.
Coach, might I ask you got anything to ask or any comments?
Like that, I like the story. It's an interesting story, man. Like as far as like how you was a police, got brought up on some charges down there in Georgia, then decided to become a lawyer, man. A lot of people don't maybe not take that step, at that stage of their life to do something as I guess like trying to become a lawyer. You know what I mean? Like
It's a big change from going, you know what I'm saying? Like it's almost like a movie. Like that's the stuff you see in movies. It's like, oh, I was a police officer, saw something dirty, said something about it.
Yeah, exactly.
And then next thing you know, I got charges. Next thing you
my father told me, he's like, man, I can't believe all it takes my son could have been a damn police officer. And he was telling me all kinds of stories, and because I grew up without him in the home a lot, I was like, well, he just got to be on that, hate the police, this and that and the other. And to be honest with you, once I went in there, they nicknamed me. My nickname was the Boy Scout because I wouldn't do anything wrong, you know. And that's what the other cops named me. And you know, it was really at 35 years old, it was really an eye-opening experience because you can lose your life, you know, around law enforcement officers who want to kill you. If they feel like they can't trust you with some of their dirt. And that happened to a brother up there in Baltimore. I'm positive that I forget his name, but he was shot dead in the streets of Baltimore in about 2000, I want to say 15 or so. You can't. He was scheduled to testify the next day in a federal case, and that he was shot and killed. That's part of that business. And the smaller the police departments are, a lot of times the more corrupt they are as well.
Yeah, sound like the what's that show that was on
Rebel Ridge?
No, but and the show that was in Baltimore about the dirty cops.
Oh yeah,
about the not the Wire, but
yeah, the one that was kind of off of that with the same, you know what I mean?
I know what it was. I can't remember. I'm blanking on it now.
Yeah,
we own the city. We own the city, and also
we own the city. Yep.
On the city. I followed all that stuff. I mean, it was because a lot of people think that stuff is just theater, and it's really not. It's absolutely, man. Particularly the larger those police departments get, the more difficult it is for the administration really to police the police.
Yeah.
So
sure. Yeah, I mean, the thing about it is, although TV is not real, it's a real story from somewhere, right?
Yeah.
Those people are that creative to where they're just.
We Own the City is written by a police officer.
Yeah,
he was a police officer.
And I
thought it was kind of based on some true stories.
Yeah, the Wire, We Own the City were all written by a police officer, co-written by.
They had a gun task force up there in Baltimore City that was doing some horrendous things, and so you know, that whole environment up there was rife with corruption and police misconduct, and nobody dared challenge some of those people.
Yeah.
The Shield is based off of a task unit out of LA too, a gang task unit out of LA. You ever watch the Shield? Yeah. And they were corrupt as can be.
You know, but I do want to say this about the vast majority of police officers that I do know, and you know, it you know, although I'll say the vast majority of police officers I do know want to go to work and do the right thing. I'm not going to say it's a few bad apples because there's more than just a few. But the vast majority of officers go to work to do the right thing. And there's a lot of people that, you know, they were picked on in middle school and high school. And you can tell when they get that badge, they become somebody that they never could be before. And you can tell almost within inside of, you know, 48 hours of them getting out on the street what they're going to be about, because they started almost immediately.
Yeah, well, what did they, I mean, most people say when it comes to police officers, especially law enforcement professionals, you know what I'm saying? You got the ones that were picked on that are police officers. You have the ones that want to do right by the community. And then you have the ones that just want a job.
Just want a job.
And that's, those are three drastic, you know what I'm saying?
And the ones that want a job are the ones that make up the majority. They're going to see things and just, I'm not trying
they're going to let it ride. Yep.
I'm going to do my 30 years and get out of here. The ones that want to do right, they become very quiet because of stuff that happened to me. And the ones that do wrong, they know ain't nobody going to tell on them. They know if they get caught, they're not probably going to be charged. They're going to be, you know, given a slap on the wrist and sent on their way. And so that's what's permitted this pervasive mentality of officers doing all kinds of wild stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think you had definitely a couple good points out there, and one of them is when you said it's not how you start but how you finish. I mean, I think that's what just about everything in life, especially for these younger generation. Oftentimes they think they make mistakes. They think that they're stuck in that particular position because of that mistake. And what people have to understand is that a lot of people become successful in their 40s, in their 30s, in their 50s, right? There are a lot of people, you know what I'm saying, out there that change, you know what I'm saying, occupations at that level, right? So it's all about running the race and continuing the race, you know what I mean? But if you fall to your environment or you become susceptible to that, then that's when you start failing at the actual race and the journey and so forth. So that definitely I tracked that point a whole lot. It was one other thing he said, but I can't remember what it was off the top of my head that I want to make a point on. But when it comes back, I'll definitely.
Yeah. So now my next question is, if as a lawyer and where you are, all right. So we all have watched movies, we all have watched TV. If you find yourself in a predicament where you're being arrested or even interrogated or whatever the case may be, what is the best bit of advice when a person finds themselves in that situation? What's the best bit of advice you can give? General advice that you can give to a person that is in that situation.
I'm not allowed to cuss, but there will be just 4 words: shut the hell up. Okay. And I'm gonna tell you, because a lot of times when police are questioning you, they have the information already. They just want to get a confession out of you so that they don't have to do any more work to prove it. And so when you find yourself in custody, being said, hey, this is purely procedural, I just want to clear some things up. I want to get to your name came up in something. I want to go ahead and get you cleared from it. Know for a fact, cops ain't sitting around here having you somewhere in a room or in the back of a police car or on the side of the road in handcuffs trying to clear you out of anything. Okay? That's as much BS as BS can get. What it is they have something that they have something that implicates you 9 times out of 10, and they want to get you to basically implicate yourself. And so as soon as you start talking, now you are boxing in your lawyer. I need an empty easel so I can paint whatever picture I want to paint with the facts. And the moment you start talking, you box me into whatever it is that you have now said. And when I say I start painting, I'm not telling lies. I'm just saying what else it could be, And once you say what it is, damn it, that's it. We're stuck with that. This is what it is. On my desktop, I have a folder of, I call it samples of wild shit my clients do, and people do. They literally think, and I did too. I'm going to be honest with you. When I got arrested, I sat down with the police, and it's 3 DVDs in my drawer of me sitting down talking to them for 6 hours. Okay, so because you want to explain things. It's human nature to want to explain things. It's also human nature to want to get out of things and have people agree with you. And so you start talking, and the next thing you know, you have boxed yourself in if you have not already outright lied. And so what I would recommend people to do if they get caught in that scenario is, listen, I want to talk to a lawyer first. Get me my lawyer. And then if my lawyer determines that me and you want to sit down and talk, we'll sit down and talk. Until that time, I don't have anything to say. I need my lawyer. I'm exercising my right to have counsel with me during any question. And shut up. And they're going to start with, hey, you want anything to drink? You want anything to eat? Can I get you, take you outside and get you a smoke? Just try to soften you up. And they'll leave you in that box for 6, sometimes 12 hours to get you to soften. They'll even walk by a co-defendant and say, oh, this your friend? This who you, they'll say stuff, this who you're talking about? And they'll point. And your man ain't said nothing. And the next thing you know, you're freaked out of your mind getting ready to start talking about whatever it is that you and your man might have done. It's a lot of head games. And I'm not trying to tell people how to get away with crime at all. What I'm simply doing is saying, let the police do their job. If they do it right and the evidence is there, then justice will prevail. But simply giving them all of the ammunition that is necessary to convict you is not really how that should go. Because guess what? You can be wrongfully convicted of some things that you didn't do based on your own statements, and that happens to me. Just based on your own statements. So give them no statements at all. Let them get whatever they're going to get. Let them do whatever they're going to do. Because guess what? 9 times out of 10, you can't stop them anyway.
Yeah. Some of the most sound advice, or some of the best advice my father ever gave me, Rodney, is he sat us down when we were young one time. He said, he's like, I'm not telling you go out here and do no dirt. I'm not telling you go out and do bad things. He said, but if you do dirt, do it by yourself, because you will not snitch on yourself.
My dad said, if you guys spend any time locked up, my dad said the same thing.
Yeah.
He said you will not snitch on yourself. He's like, so anybody can come in there and say your man said this, your man said that.
Yeah. Be quiet.
And he also said if they ask you if you did it, that means they don't know that you did do it.
Yeah. So that cuts both ways, you know. If they ask you if you did it, they sometimes, like I said, they're looking to get a confession so that they don't have to do no more work.
Yeah.
You know, you can start telling, you know, well, I watch these interviews all the time, like, oh, the police didn't have anything until he just gave it to them.
Mm-hmm.
Up at the scene, he put himself there, but he said, you know, I didn't do anything. Now that you're there, they're gonna make it look like you did something, whether you did something or not. And so it's best not to say anything. Don't put yourself at the scene, and then go from there. So next piece, right, not only do you not say anything, right? When you encounter law enforcement, right? Know whether you are being detained or whether you are not being detained. Hey, can I talk to you for a minute? No, man, I got to go to work. You're not being detained. Okay, and so the way that law enforcement talks to people dictates whether or not you're being detained or whether or not this is actually a stop or stop/detention. If it's a stop/detention, they have to have reasonable articulable suspicion that you are committing a crime or have committed a crime or about to commit a crime. And the Fourth Amendment protects you from unreasonable seizures or stops like that. So I want to really educate people on that, because a lot of times you'll get stopped by a cop saying, "Hey, can I just talk to you for a minute?" You don't have to talk to them, and then the next thing you know, you've said something, and then the cop says, "Well, just hold on a second. Now I want to place you under arrest." Because if you talk to the police and you then say something that they know is untrue and they can prove is untrue, now you put yourself on for the ride of false statements to a police officer, and that's when they'll arrest you for false statements and then search you and they find all kinds of other stuff and get you some more charges. And so we really have to become smart with, you know, how we interact with police. And that's what I was trying to do with the National Association Against Police Brutality. Was we had three tenets: is education leads to empowerment, and empowerment leads to accountability. You can't get any accountability until you're empowered. You can't become empowered until you get some education about what officers can do to you. So we can come back on for, I mean, if I'm invited back, we can come back on and talk about that as a topic.
Hey, this show is always open. You know, I'm definitely down for that. Matter of fact, I'm gonna write that down so that we can bring that back up. So my next question to you is, and thank you for that. If if you have any advice for anybody is aspiring youth who are looking to become attorneys or looking to become an attorney or looking to get into, I guess, you know, social reform or helping in that nature, where would you tell them to begin? Like, what's the starting point to the journey?
That's a really good question, because, you know, most of us think that there's a path to follow. So I'm going to give some general, you know, knowledge about how you would get into something like this. Get into something like this by getting around it, coming and start observing court, finding a lawyer that's willing to take a mentee under his wing, his or her wing. Start reading about, you know, not criminal justice, but your constitutional rights. When people get a criminal justice degree, they learn about the criminal justice system, and then they learn a lot of things that are theory rather than practice. You know, but because a lot of people want to get involved with it until they get involved with it. Come out here and get involved with it. Come roll with a lawyer for a little while, for a whole day, in and out of the courts, in and out of the jails, dealing with the expectations of family, dealing with the wildness of clients. Come and experience it. There needs to be something like that, as opposed to the typical way people would say is like, oh, just you know, participate in the Boy Scouts or participate in some civic organization and come out here and talk about reform. And to me, I have been a part of the reform movement when it came to police accountability. We've seen a lot of laws changed through legislation and so forth. But I think the best way, if you really want to become a lawyer, is get around some lawyers and get involved in the process and literally say, hey, why are you doing that? Because it's not what we do, it's often why we do what we do that, you really need to learn. When somebody gets arrested by the police, they want to get out of jail. Well, one of the factors that a judge needs to consider to get that person a bond, get down into the weeds of it. I would recommend that finding lawyers. The J. Franklin Bourne Bar Association is the Black Bar Association that's here in Prince George's County. There'll be plenty of lawyers who say, hey, if you're looking at, I want somebody at least, 17, 18 years old that can really understand the implications of what the work that we do. Take it seriously. But that's what I would suggest, is just getting involved with a lawyer rather than some of the general things of, marching. And because I did all that. We've marched, we've sung Kumbaya, we've had candlelight vigils. We've done all of this, and at the end of the day, we still back at how we keep Mookie out of jail.
Yeah.
Is Mookie getting a fair shake from the criminal justice system? Because even once we legislate those laws, even once we create the new legislation or the new bills that are put in place, those bills and those statutes often don't have some of the intended effects that we anticipated, and we still find people in similar situations to what existed prior to the legislation being passed. And so I tell people, like just, focus on how you can help one. And I think you had it on your intro. Each one, reach one. I am over saving the community. That's a soundbite. You heard it. I want to save one or two folk who want to save themselves, because a lot of people during this time period, I hate saying this, a lot of people want to become professional victims. They want to blame somebody for their situation. And I'm like, look, we're already at the situation. Now let's deal with how we get out of it. And if you really want to change your community, start with one person at a time.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, definitely agree.
Fellas, any questions, chime in?
No, I mean, I definitely agree. I think that, what I'm saying, even though you're in the posture of, ensuring that fairness in the justice system is right, it's a good point to understand that you still have to change as a person, right? Or you're going to be right back in that same situation. You know what I mean? If you don't change, it don't matter how many good lawyers you keep hiring and hiring and hiring, you're going to be right back in the same situation.
I got guys that are written. I've got guys that, I want to give them a frequent flyer loyalty card. They come in and, I'm representing them on my fourth or fifth time representing them on, stuff. And the police make mistakes and I find the mistakes, but the reality is that that person has chosen a life that's going to continue to expose him to, having the most valuable commodity we have as Black men, time.
Yep.
With our families, time in our communities, time for ourselves, right? When these folks take these choices, they lose time.
Mm-hmm.
Off of their lives, and it becomes years away from their family, years away from their kids. And so I really try to, help folks understand, listen, it might be in the best interest at this point to take some accountability, put this behind you, and use this as an opportunity to pivot in your life rather than to continue to, because they might have the goods, and oftentimes they, I tell people there's a reason why 90% of people plead guilty in courts. And 3 out of every 4 people that go into a state court, whether it's state court here in Maryland or state court across this country, will be convicted, not acquitted. So 1 out of 4 is the acquittal rate. If you go up into that federal system, 97 out of 100 get convicted, meaning that only 3% walk out of there with an acquittal. Those are some horrible odds for receiving an acquittal. But, your lawyer's job is to try to, if you're going to take a plea, it's to try to, get you the best offer, something that's fair, something that's reasonable. And he knows because he's got the training, knowledge, and experience. You have some folks who I want to take it to trial, they take it to trial and they're exposed to far more time after the merits of the charge are met than had they taken a plea. And so it's a difficult choice to be faced with, but we try to help them navigate that situation.
So let me ask you a question. Given those numbers, do you feel that the statement that you're innocent until proven guilty is a real statement, or is it that you're guilty until proven innocent?
Well, it depends. And I'm going to say this on the record. It depends on how much pigment you have in your skin.
Wow. Okay.
Period.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't expect that one.
Me neither.
I believe it though.
I'm just gonna keep it 100% honest. It depends on how much pigment you have in your skin. We have there's no if we're being honest, right? There's absolutely no doubt that black and brown people are treated differently inside of our criminal justice system than white people are. And so when we take that into consideration, right, we have to really acknowledge that fact. Hang on one second. This is my wife calling me. I need to answer her because I'm scared.
Nah, you good. It's all right. We'll go ahead and mute you. Yeah, it's all good. All right. Well, I definitely wasn't expecting that answer.
Yeah.
But I mean, hey, that's about as real as it gets, right?
As long as the answer is the truth, which I'm pretty sure just you can prove that from conviction.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Conviction statistics. So as long as you know what I'm saying, it can be proven from conviction.
Call and ask me, do I want the banana puddings with the bananas or without the bananas? Because I've been asking for the banana pudding all weekend, right? And I want the banana pudding with the bananas.
Yeah, 100%.
You ensured you picked up that phone and answered that question. You know what I mean? So,
yeah.
Nobody. Yeah, you can talk. You can say
that call.
But what did that banana pudding? Don't nobody want to hear all that.
Makes a jam up banana pudding. Keep it real.
Yeah, I got okay.
I mean, it's so we do face a situation where and it's not all courts and it's not all judges, but by and large we're still dealing with racism in the criminal justice system, right? With all the technology that we have, the solution is to track outcomes and to track inputs to find patterns. With all the algorithms and all the AI that we have, we can be able to track people who come into the system, what their charge set is, what their criminal background is, and then what their sentencing is at sentencing to find out if we have a disproportionate number of black and brown people. And I'm confident that the numbers will bear out that, receiving harsher sentences, that's kind of, has always been the impetus for reform. But what I would tell, people is that, that becomes why we should do the things that we do in terms of, educating our people about staying out of this system, because this system wasn't set up to get justice.
I agree with you. I mean, I think that part of it is the education portion of it.
Yeah.
Right. You know what I mean? Because I think we lack that education as a minority group. I think we also lack the resources of representation as a minority group. Who represents us in those same courtrooms versus who represents them is a completely different thing. You know? And because of that of course leads to conviction rates being higher. And this is all without just the racist aspect of it. Just those simple things already impact the conviction rate. And then you throw racism in it, and that just escalates it. So
yeah.
I feel like you made a good point, Coach, but you don't got your hat on, so I need that to happen. That's part of the bet, man. Put that hat back on, dog. Anyway, go ahead, Batty. As you had something to say.
Yeah, and I just because as you definitely know, it has a bit of racism and unfair, because I always looked at it as when you go into a courtroom, or I've been in situations, sometimes your lawyer, they want to get a certain type of judge because they know this judge is going to be a little more fair. They know this guy, how he's going to look at you. He's going to come at you a certain type of way. So you're already kind of at a disadvantage. And I've always thought about it like if that judge is, of a different complexion, when he sees you, he may view a certain type of way. But if it's another guy of his same race in front of him, he may can see his nephew or a family member here, because he relates more to the white guy in front of him than he does to a brother in front of him with locks in his head. You know what I mean? He's already going to stereotype you. So, you know, we kind of at a disadvantage already because, you know, we need more of us representing, you know, as judges. We need more people that look like us to be judges in those positions that then we those statistics may change a little bit. But the way it is, I don't think is, you know, it's kind of tough.
Well, I don't want to paint too broadly of a brush and say all the white judges, because I will say this: there are a lot of judges, white judges, that will look at the situation and say, you know, and deliver some of that fairness. And on the counter, there are some black judges that are absolutely fed up with they want to they bring down that hammer. You know what I'm saying? And I mean, so that knife cuts both ways. But by and large, right, when we look at the outcome, it still can be said truthfully that black and brown people from both black judges and white judges sometimes get viewed more harshly than the white counterparts in similarly situated situations. So I think there's somebody on there asking, can you talk a little bit about the school?
Yeah, I'm gonna bring that out. I was waiting to this point, but that's next. Yeah, I wanted to they want to talk about the school to prison pipeline. How do you feel about that? What do you think?
So I never heard of the term before it came up a few years, I want to say about 10 years ago, right? I think it's a little bit of a misnomer, you know, because a lot of people start thinking that there's some kind of, you know, conspiracy to suck black boys up and put them in prison, right? And I think what happens is that causes us to change our focus from dealing with the things that we have control of to thinking about this conspiracy of the school to prison pipeline. I will say that there is a lack of empathy for black men. There is a lack of resources for a lot of black men who are in certain communities, whether it be urban communities and so forth. But what that school to prison pipeline moniker has done is it's caused us to focus a lot of our attention on what others are doing to us as opposed to what we are doing to ourselves. And I'm trying to change that conversation because, you know, we can do more for ourselves than people can do against us at this stage. You know, we can do more for ourselves than people can do against us. And so if our schools are not educating and it's run by our own folks, we need to be questioning them and holding them accountable who are in charge of that. If our children are acting up and committing acts of violence, then we need to be questioning what are they listening to? How are we producing violent kids as a community, as a culture now? What has changed? Because I'm 52. How old are you, Rodney?
46.
All right.
I think, somewhere around.
How old are you?
44.
Okay. And Coach, how old are you?
I'm 46.
All right. Never in a time period of our life when we were young, and you all grew up, now I grew up in Key West, Florida. You all grew up in the DC metro area.
Mm-hmm.
When you were 14, 15 years old, did the thought cross your mind to kill another 14-year-old, 15-year-old because you got into a beef, or was the thought just, I'm going to go beat that brother's behind? Which one was it?
Beat his behind.
Yeah.
Right.
I want a lawyer.
14, 15. You said you want a lawyer, call you a lawyer.
Right. But now that dynamic has changed from I'm going to whoop his tail to I'm going to smoke him. I'm going to take him on. And where did that come from? When did that dynamic, when did that phenomenon get created?
TV.
And then how did we allow it to become culturally acceptable as the norm? And when we unravel that and have a real internal conversation about that, then we will begin to see those numbers decrease. Because what we have done is we have allowed that kind of talk and that kind of communication to be perpetuated starting in the ages of 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. And then by the time somebody's 15, 16, they got their hands on a strap and they are actually living it out, not really realizing the implications of their actions. This ain't Grand Theft Auto. You don't regenerate and pop out the jail in a few seconds. You know? So, So that school to prison pipeline, I recognize that there are a lot of conditions that can create an incarcerated black man. There's a lot, right?
Mm-hmm.
But there are also a lot of things that we can do as black men and as black youth to keep from becoming incarcerated. And when I was part of the reform movement for police accountability, I was always talking about what we need to do to fix the system, and I left out the part of the communication about what we need to do to fix ourselves. And I think as I progressed, as I started evolving, I just, I don't want to be like some, conservative Republican talking about personal responsibility. What I'm saying is that it is absolutely antithetical to us saying Black Lives Matter when we are killing black people at the rate that we're doing. And if you're a chain smoker, right, don't march with me talking about let's clean up the environment. Let's clean up the air. Let's deal with you being the chain smoker, which is more likely to kill yourself. And I equate the chain smoking to us shooting each other than you worrying about the school to prison pipeline sucking you up, or the vast, conspiracy on the other side doing some horrible things to you. We have got to fix the internals, because the externals the externals that we cannot control, I'm not saying that they will always be there, but I'm saying that they're not there to the extent that they were there 50 years ago or 100 years ago. And so this generation needs to understand that they have better opportunity than anybody else that came before them. And we're just not telling them that message.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I mean, I think that lane with the school to prison pipeline is literally just a distraction. And I think it goes back to just the media and people generating information to people as an excuse, and it's not true, right? So I think that honestly, the majority of people that go to more school and become successful.
Come on, man.
Than they do that go to prison. Like that's just
it is
how I look at it. Because
I wouldn't call it like a school to prison pipeline. I do agree when you said if the school is failing, then you need to figure out what's going on in the school. But some of these schools in some of these counties, and now they have failed the kids. Like I commend some teachers. You got to get your child out of that classroom or out of that school. You got to make the choice to do it. But I've seen some situations where it's very difficult for someone like to concentrate or be able to do anything in some of these classrooms, man. Like,
but that's a school system problem, right? And
exactly, I get that.
Problem. Yeah, we don't want to punish kids anymore.
Yeah,
we can't. Well, first off, we made it to where we can't punish kids.
Yeah, I used to be quintessential badass in 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th. When I became a lawyer, my mother called down to my grandmother and said, "Hey, Jonathan just became a lawyer." She said, "Jonathan?" And the reason was because I was the one who, I graduated high school when I was 20 years old. I missed so much high school in the 9th and 10th grade. They actually put me out, and I had to petition to get back in. The thing is that we don't punish kids anymore. We have adopted a lot of academic stuff that was studied by other people, and we've adopted that inside our community, and it doesn't work. There are some things that we need to do and say with young black men that nobody else should be doing and saying, because those are our kids. And the trust is, look, I guarantee you this. We accept coaches talking to our kids tougher than we accept teachers, because the assumption is that the coach is trying to make that young man a better player. So we don't allow teachers to have the latitude, and a lot of it has to do with some racial dynamics, right?
And they got to start at home too, though. They got to start at home, because if your child in there and they totally have no respect for the teacher, and like some of these kids are putting hands on teachers, so that comes from something else. like that comes from
It
at
comes from
home.
that's
They don't
come
have a good structure, or you know what I mean, you know what I mean, in the first place. So those are some of the issues where people are just they have no respect, you know what I mean. And that goes back to like you were saying about why they feel like they are killing, like they just, you know what I mean, because we didn't think of doing that when we was in school. We respected our even if you was bad in school, it still was a level of respect like for your teachers and stuff like that. You just wouldn't go to class. Like you like I'm just not gonna go. But you
And we grew
wouldn't.
up scared of our moms.
Yeah.
We grew up. I was scared of my mom.
well,
So now
yeah, I agree with you,
They're
Matt.
not scared of their mothers. They talk to their mothers any old kind of way. And
Yeah, so but my thing is this: if it with that, that's not the school.
that's not the school. It's the culture.
yeah, the school isn't there to put to police the kids. Like they're not babysitters.
Well,
Yeah.
we have allowed the laws to be legislated that criminalized some damn good parenting.
Yes.
Yeah. I remember when we grew up, man, we used to in elementary school, the teacher used to have a paddle in the class.
Oh man, that's exactly. I mean, I lived, and it worked. I mean, it caused you to. You knew there was some consequences. Now there's no consequences, and I'm sorry, but young, you know, I'm going to quote the Bible. It says the beginning of wisdom is fear, and you can't really sit around and logically talk to young people about, you know, just making the right decision. And that's what some of these academic geniuses have come up with, is that we need to treat them as they're not mentally developed enough to really sit down and process that way. So we have to make it a very binary choice. If you do this, I'm going to do this. If you touch the stove, it's going to burn.
Exactly.
You know,
Yeah, instead of go ahead and touch that stove you want.
You get so well behaved. I was like, well, I can't say anything legally how it was done, but you know, we adopted the traditional method of parenting.
Yeah,
it's
yes,
crazy that we're at that level with that. So and it's definitely. I mean, when you start, honestly, we have created children and given them too much opinion on a lot of things. You know what I mean? On adult issues.
On adult opinion, we've given them latitude. We've given them choices that, you know, it wasn't that way, and it was not that way because a lot of choices and a lot of latitude, you know, they're not equipped to be able to make those decisions, and we're continuing to do it. You see it with some of the, you know, the laws that allow a child to keep hidden from their parents the fact that they've gotten pregnant or want to get an abortion. I mean, it's just a lot of stuff that's been adopted into our communities that have really had a negative impact, and nobody wants to talk about it because it sounds too conservative. You know?
Yeah.
It sounds too much like the Republicans. I'm like, well, you know, I'm not a Republican, but even a bloke in caucus right twice a day.
Yeah.
There you go.
You're right about that.
So, fellas, I know, Jonathan, you have a busy schedule and you have something else that you need to get to. I appreciate you taking the time, but now you've already committed to coming back to the show and doing a part 2. So, you know, I'm gonna go ahead and you know, let you get back to work. I appreciate your time. I appreciate you coming here. I appreciate.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
I said it sounded like your retainer hours up.
No.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you got some more time, I'm gonna get into the real quick. If you got some more time to go through the real, if you want to go through it with us real quick.
A little bit, man. I mean, I'm amazed how quick the time went by. Tomorrow, I'll be sitting at the defense table representing somebody who's alleged to have committed a conspiracy to commit murder. So I'm enjoying this tonight.
Oh yeah, you got a lot more serious things on the table tomorrow. Wow.
So do you want to go through the real with us, or you got to get out of here?
Yeah, no, I'll stay for another 10 minutes.
Okay, cool beans. So we're gonna go ahead and let me pull up this real quick that I got. This is actually something you know, if you want, hey, make sure y'all follow Johnathon Newton. You're on Facebook, Instagram, all that good stuff. He does put some reels out there. This is one I pulled off of his page that I thought was a great thing for us to talk about. So let's go ahead and pull it up. Maybe I don't got it. There we go. All right, pull it up real quick. And there we go.
States, there is no cohort that has fallen further faster than young men. 4 times more likely to kill themselves, 3 times more likely to be addicted, 12 times more likely to be incarcerated. And because of the advantage that I received as a white heterosexual male and my father received, we have a lack of empathy for them. 1 out of 3 men under the age of 30 hasn't had sex in the last year. And we have the deepest resourced, most talented people in the world trying to give young men a false impression that they can have a reasonable facsimile of life on a screen and with an algorithm. They're not going out. They're not getting a plan. They don't have the confidence to approach strangers for mentorship, for friendship. They're not getting jobs. And I hear from mothers and I hear from women. You know who wants more economically and emotionally viable men? Women. Women.
Yeah.
And unless we have more empathy, empathy is not a zero-sum game. Civil rights did not hurt white people. Gay marriage did not hurt heteronormative marriage. We have to look at the statistics and understand that our young men are failing. They are struggling. 4 times the suicide rate. 4 times. There are things we can do. This is a call out to all men. The single point of failure when a young boy comes off the tracks is when he loses a male role model. The ultimate expression of masculinity is for a man who is doing well. You don't have to be a baller just trying to live a virtuous life, is to reach out and get involved in the life of a boy. If we want better men, we need to be better men. United States, there's no code.
All right, fellas. So, Jonathan, I'm gonna go ahead and let you go first. How do you feel? How did you feel about that? Real? What do you think he's saying? And what's your view?
That's because it hit home with me. I mean, I have a 26-year-old young man, grown man, that without putting all his business out there, a lot of those things that he talked about, he has faced: the lack of confidence, the lack of, the inability to approach people and just say, "Hey, my name's Johnathon Newton." We grew up at a time where we did not have all of these artificial things. I put on my Facebook page last week, artificial intelligence is producing natural ignorance. Okay. You and I talked about it earlier. We have, we've come to this culture where you can just swipe left, swipe right to pick and choose who you want to be with, and then talk to them in an artificial way. So we have artificial relationships, we have artificial sex, we have an entire generation of people, 2 generations now, that is exposed to computer technology that has completely supplanted human interaction. And the human interaction that is necessary to build a relationship with a woman, it's just been replaced. I remember back in the day of all the steps that you had to go through before you could get a girl to come out on a date with you. All the steps you had to go through to get a girl to engage you physically. Okay. And the steps now, you're seeing increased numbers of sexual assaults because these guys are getting frustrated because they're physically ready, but they're not socially ready to go through the steps necessary to interact with a woman physically. And they just take the move thinking that she's ready. And, there's a myriad of things. That real, I would love to have a segment to talk about it because you know what, Rodney, that's really at core what's affecting our young people in our community. They're so frustrated right now. It becomes either I'm gonna kill the person who I think has disrespected me, or I'm gonna, rape the woman who I think, doesn't want me. And that dichotomy right there is producing some bizarre outcomes. And again, it is because we have adopted some technology into our communities without having any restraint and really understanding the outcomes that we're going to result from this. And now I want to remind us of something, okay? Everything that's done in America, my undergraduate work is in social science. Everything that's done in America is studied before it's done. So somebody knew the outcome that would produce.
Mm-hmm.
Just like somebody knew the outcome that producing the music and allowing the music that we have to run rampant in our communities. They knew the outcome and they chose to do it any damn way, because that issue with that white man talking about that is happening in white culture too. So imagine the numbers that it is happening in our community as well. There used to be a saying, when white America has a cold, black America has pneumonia, because it affects us more. And so, again, we have these artificial relationships. And like I said, that game that you see now, the balloon popping game, that is indicative of, illustrative of what that has produced. There is no empathy. A person can walk out within 3 seconds. People just popping the balloons. He's no good.
I don't want to date to move on.
Oh yeah, okay,
And
yeah.
that goes back to the trap that we talked about on a previous relationship, where I feel that, you know, men. Here's the thing. One thing I told my son, I was like, I want you to do it the old way. Here's a pen. I want you to go meet a woman. Go meet a woman. It blew his mind. He was like, so what am I supposed to do with this pen? I was like, nah, I want you to go talk to her, you know? And then he goes up, he's like, yeah, can I get your Instagram? That's the only thing he knows. You know what I'm saying? Can I get your Instagram? Can I get, that's it.
Even that's better than just hopping in the DM, like to go social, to interact with people. Because I definitely agree. It's a lack of interaction nowadays. Like you said, I believe it was planned. A lot of kids, I don't blame it on that, on COVID, but that year, that actually changed some people, the way people interact with people and different things like that. But yeah, they don't know how to interact. And going back to what we were saying earlier, when you don't know how to express yourself, that's when, like you said, it comes out in anger. That's usually what creates anger, because you don't know how to express yourself with words, or like you said, it kind of builds up inside of you, and then it erupts in another way. So we definitely need to work on better socialization and help people learn how to express or talk about what's going on.
Man, I'm getting ready to I want to start winding down my practice a little bit, and I want to take a PhD and study like what really happened in our community, because when I say study that, right, we went from a generation of people that used to say about our women, they're once, twice, 3 times a lady, to these hoes ain't loyal in our music.
Yeah.
Our music is a reflection of us. Music is not a mandate of who we are. It is a reflection of who we are. And so what has happened is that music, you can see that we went from once, twice, 3 times a lady to these hoes ain't loyal to can I smash to what's your app to what's your OF. And it's just been this constant degradation of like a normal relationship.
Yeah, there's no love songs. You can't find a love song today.
Nah, for real. It was a post somebody did, and they were talking about like music in the 60s, 70s, and they just were showing gradually how music changed. I never really thought about it like that.
That happened in our era. Snoop brought it out. So the LA Snoop, all that came out is when that started, because even MC Lyte and them said she was like, I was in the industry back in those days in New York, and not once did I ever get called a hoe or a bitch. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't until Snoop and them came out and the LA culture came out where it was just like, there ain't nothing but hoes and tricks. So,
chronic,
And then somebody said that there's another reel on there that it's a white guy talking to one of these TED things. Miss Reese says, don't put it all on the men because the women treat themselves nasty and raunchy these days too. And I think, and I'm saying this, right? Women respond to what we demand. Right? Hey, look. If we say, we only want that thicky thick, they're gonna go get a bubble. And watch this, we respond to what they demand. If they said we not dating no fellas unless they get on a pink bow tie so go out. So once the sexes realize, what the demand is, we can then have a conversation. But we have changed, and it has been through social engineering. I'm sad to say this. We have changed what a man is, what a woman is. We have changed what the expectation of masculinity is. We have changed what the expectation of femininity is. And then inside that, you have a 13, 14-year-old, 15-year-old trying to figure this stuff out. Almost cussed again. We have a 15-year-old trying to figure this shit out, and nobody's trying to tell them like what really is going on here, because you want to be politically correct. You want to respect their boundaries. they may not know, you know, and that's what that we could go on and on and on, you know. But so but that clip, man, for me, that one hit home.
Yeah. Like you said, man, this social engineering is bigger than us. And that goes back to the point, man. You can't try to save everybody, but if everybody, each one reach one, and we take a few under, you know what I mean? You start there. You know what I mean? And it starts in, I guess, in your own household. We teaching our kids, and then hopefully, you know, it breaks the chains and they can teach their kids. And well, if you don't have kids, man, you got somebody who you can maybe, you know what I mean, help if you see them going down the wrong path.
And I've said it before. That's one of the reasons why I do this show, because I want this is out here forever. You know what I'm saying? Now my kids going to be able to watch this. They're going to be like, you want to know what your grandfather was like? Here you go. There you go. Dad mentality. You can find out all his views, all his points, everything, even, you know, past, you know, whatever I tell you. You know, here's what it was like back then. Here it was for him. His opinion on that. You know, you want to know how I feel, what views on the pipeline? Then you go watch this episode. So, Coach, did you have anything you wanted to say about that?
Nah, man, I definitely totally agree. I mean, I think that, you know what I'm saying, us being role models, you know what I'm saying, is the key. You know what I mean? That's one of the reasons why I coach. Like, that was my whole thing of giving back to the community outside of my immediate family, right? Because a lot of them boys didn't have those role models. You know what I mean? Of what a man is like. You know what I mean? Because they see certain things on TV and think that's how they should be, a baller, blah, blah, blah. But what about the man that's just living his regular life, committed to his wife, committed to his kids, and committed to his family? Like, and I made sure they saw that. You know what I mean? And by just seeing that, they may not understand it when they were in high school. They may have said, "Oh, he's a clown in high school," but guess who still calls Coach Vance? These 30-year-old guys that are raising kids and families.
Absolutely, they built a relationship, and that it's a unique relationship when a young man finds a man who put something into him. The one who reached me was a pastor. I'll never forget him. You know, he was a pastor, and he talked to me about, you know, like what I want to do with my life. My father was locked up, and he put something into me that I'll never forget. He said, "Man, I was 18 years old and a high school dropout. He marched me down to a school in Georgia and said, 'We're going to get you back in school.' And I ended up sitting at a lunch table with, you know, what I considered to be 16-year-old kids, because they were in the 10th grade, and I was 18 years old, a fully grown man. But the pastor said, 'Man, you don't look a day over 16. Relax.' And he got me back in, and I ended up graduating. I was 20 when I graduated, but he changed. You know, he put me on a different course. He showed me some things, and we're not, you know. So I got to go, but I want to tell you fellas something. The fact that you invited me on this show, Rodney, and the fact that you all are doing this show, man, this is the work of how you change the dynamic that is in our community. Just having conversations like this, I really appreciate it, you know, because, you know, Rodney, you've seen the work that I do. The saddest part of my business is that there's not much positivity sometimes. And I want to thank you all for being positive and inviting me out to just share and talk, because I don't get that opportunity much. And this has been therapeutic, it's been inspirational, and it has been exciting. So I want to thank you for having me.
Awesome, man. We thank you, man.
We thank you.
I think you got a motivational story that a lot of young men could learn from, man. The way you say you had to graduate and look where you at now. So, man, hey, much love and appreciate meeting you, man.
Okay, fellas, I'll talk to you later, and I'll see you tomorrow, Rodney. If you talk to you later.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, no problem. And this is the people's lawyer. So if you're in the DMV area and you find yourself in some trouble, you know, give him a call, but make sure you got that checkbook. Don't be calling. You know what I'm saying? Don't think just because I got him on this joint for an hour for free, you free too. That don't work. Don't bitch your dad mentality asking for a discount. So,
dad's mentality discount.
All right.
Thank you, Jonathan. We're gonna go ahead and I got one more reel that we're gonna play real quick, and then we're gonna get into these terrible picks. You can leave if you want to stay and hang out. That's cool too, up to you, or just mute us or whatever you want to do.
I'm gonna mute. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. No problem. But you know, we got some great things. I really appreciate Rodney, Coach. I guess I appreciate it too, Rodney, Coach. I guess you're talking to us on that. She left you out, Maddie. I don't know what that's about, but anyway.
I mean, that's
Reese,
like Reese Joy don't never work. Her keyboard probably stopped working.
Yeah, you know she blind. She can't see nothing anyway. But we still love her, Reese. You know, shout out to the Morning Mac show. You know we love you. She was already an hour late to the show. Now she want to chime in. But anyway, we're gonna go ahead and get into. I got one more real quick, and then we'll get into these playoff picks. As a matter of fact, I think we got a playoff game starting shortly.
Yep.
So let's get ready, have some fun, and this is a very special reel for Coach.
No.
So, you know, somebody wanted to send a special message to Coach. Let him know what he got to say now, because he was talking all that stuff about us Commanders. So, you know, Nash and Nashville, Dwayne Nash, he is a college specialist. You know, he definitely has his own show that they talk about college sports and this, that, and the other. So he's going to join us next week before the national championship. And, you know, he wanted to just discuss with Coach some of the things that Coach said in the beginning of the season and make sure that everything is, you know, good. But we, you know, we don't worry about it. It's all right because we playing with house money.
Yeah, I hope y'all still around.
You know what I'm saying?
Because understand, don't get it twisted. Like, if it's a close game, you know what I'm saying, then hey, yeah, I'll give you some credit. But y'all come up this joint and the wheels fall off the bus this week.
What do you mean? Look, we did what we did.
You can't even say that, because you talking about the wheels fall off the bus. Like, we ain't even supposed to be here. Let you tell it. Like, come on.
But here's the thing. Like, it's like when the wheels fall off the bus, because I think they're gonna fall off the bus this week.
See, that's what everybody's saying, but nobody ain't really got nothing to say. What about us even being here? Did you think we was gonna be here?
I mean, I told you, Jay,
we overachieved, so we
y'all did overachieve. I give you that.
But put it like this: we should lose. Let's put it like that. They the better team, right?
The problem ain't the loss this week, right? That's what people gotta understand. If y'all lose this week, y'all still gonna be on a high because they beat y'all expectations. That's not when the true fall happens, though. Fellas, this is because I've been here before, and I'm trying to coach y'all through this so y'all fully understand what.
So what you think we gonna?
Hold on,
it's next season.
It's
already the next season.
Hold on. I'm a mute Coach because he can't talk unless he got the hat on during this segment. We talking about the Commanders. He's not allowed to talk unless he got the hat on. I don't feel that that's right for him. I want him. Yeah, he got to talk with the hat on. There we go. Now, okay. Now I can unmute you. All right, here you go.
The trash
I'm
talk,
sorry.
you know what I'm saying? The trash talking don't stop because the hat's on.
I'm just making sure.
It's this. And this is where this is why I became the type of non-fan that I am, because we had a great season. We won a game, and I was all in. And then the next season, that's when everything fell off the rails. Because the expectations was too high, right? And that's exactly what y'all falling for right now. I'm just telling you that I'm not falling for, because next year is the NFC North and the AFC West.
Yeah, we got a rough schedule next year. But
here's the thing. The problem is they're going to win the offseason. Everybody going to think they're great. And then that's when the fall is epic. But I can't fall for that. I can't go through that.
Come on, man. Let him finish.
He sound like a scorned girlfriend over there.
Oh no, that's what I am. You already know that. I told you I left all that stuff in the stands long time.
Daddy Ice. Beginning of the season, he said we weren't going to win 8 games.
Y'all trash.
That was trash.
We won 12. Not only did we not, we won 12. Not eight. He said we ain't even gonna win 8, and we got 12. Now he said last week.
Y'all play
Hold on. Anyway, last week he told me that we was going down to Tampa and was going to get stomped. That was his words, stomped. That they was going to lead Tampa broken and wouldn't be able to do nothing. Nah. Okay. The fans went down there, took over Tampa, and we got the dub. Okay. Yep. Now we going to Detroit. He gonna go. Now the wheels are gonna fall off now.
If we upset Detroit,
the number one team.
Watch out.
We playing the number one team in the playoffs. Don't worry, I muted you, Coach, because
you gonna say Super Bowl.
You gonna cut me off? Nah.
It's one game at a time. I just said if we upset Detroit, it's one game at a time.
I'm just saying that all I just want to hear, Coach, is that we exceeded our expectations, and you are proud to wear that hat. That's all you got to say, man.
No, I'm not saying that.
It's okay.
I don't have expectations for the Commanders.
We exceeded them. If you don't have them, then we exceeded them.
If you and Matt feel that y'all exceeded them,
if you said you had an expectation of 8 wins,
yeah, you said we weren't going to get 8 wins. That's the expectation.
Now, all I'm trying to say is this: I'm trying to protect 2 guys that I truly like. You know what I mean? From the heartbreak that I have gone through myself with this same team. That's all I'm trying to do. But y'all, you know what? At some point,
it's PTSD. It's PTSD. I get it. I do believe that.
No, Matty Ice. We've talked about this before. In 2 weeks, we're gonna have Sergeant Garrett back on, and we're gonna talk about anxiety because Coach got anxiety.
I don't got
it's not only for the moment.
He bringing baggage. He bringing old baggage into a new relationship, man.
He already telling us about next season. You know what I'm saying?
We got a new ownership group, man. Whole new coach.
You know what I mean?
Adam Peters in there. We got real football people and real owners now, man. Like give it a chance, man.
Go ahead and say it.
We only got on the defense. We got 8 new people on the defense. It's a new defense.
You wanna say it?
Y'all go ahead and say Super Bowl.
We one game at a time. We gotta
2 years. 2 years.
We gotta go to Detroit first.
2 years.
Like
2 years. 2 years. I'm still
focused on Detroit right now. We ain't thinking about the Super Bowl.
Then we're gonna be headed to the show. Right now, we're a really good team. We a few keys from being elite. We need a few more things before we become elite. And the great thing is we have a quarterback that we ain't got to pay for 5 years. So we can put those elite pieces around them. And I'm saying in the next 2 years, I think we'll be going to the bowl. Now I said it. There you go. That's my forward. I'm not going to forecast like you that the wheel's going to fall off. Like Snyder's, according to you, Snyder's going to buy the team back.
He been waiting for the fall all year.
You know what I'm saying? Snyder's going to buy the team back.
He's going to come back at the stadium and say, "Psych."
He's going to come back and bring Dion on as our coach, and we're going to become the biggest show on earth or something like that. That's what you think.
I do.
But it's all right. So let's get into these playoffs so we can get into next week's show and all that kind of stuff too, fellas. Let's get into these terrible picks. I don't remember how we did last. Oh, that the Chargers game I think was the one that screwed us, right?
Yeah, that screwed everybody, man.
Yeah, nobody thought they was going to be that. What you call it was going to win.
What's the name? Justin Herbert played like trash.
Yeah. So I think that's what screwed us last week. We won't be able to place the bet on the what you call it, but we got you got to pull it up, or you want me to go through it?
I mean, I pretty much know about how. I mean, you got Washington at Detroit. I mean, that started off.
All right. And they got us at 9 points. We losing by 9.
I mean, they pretty much flipped the yeah. I don't know, guys. Just to be honest, like I can't say Washington this week. I know y'all fans, but they just
don't worry. I ain't saying it either. I ain't gonna lie.
Detroit a different team, bro.
Like, and they got a week off, man. Shoot, Detroit gonna be ready to steamroll.
Upset City, man.
Don't worry about it. I'm not putting that
upset them people.
Yeah, I hear you.
All right.
I hear you. All right. So I mean, the
Coach,
game,
Coach, so you got me with you for once.
man,
I'm gonna go ahead and be real because it's my money. So I'm gonna go ahead and Detroit is put down, sir.
Yeah. The other game is, you know what I'm saying? Do you think either team gonna beat the Eagles? I don't think neither one gonna beat them.
Who? Oh, nah. I don't think neither one gonna beat. Yeah. I don't think neither one gonna beat the Eagles either.
Yeah.
And that's your team. That's the Rams, though, man. You sure?
So I think the Rams are gonna win tonight.
Okay.
Yeah,
and you think they're gonna lose to the Eagles?
I think they're gonna lose to the Eagles. Yeah.
All right.
I don't know. So, I'm gonna see how this thing play out, but I actually got the Vikings winning tonight.
Really?
Either one going to beat the Eagles? The Vikings going to beat the Eagles?
I think the Vikings can.
Okay. You do? So you saying if the Vikings win, you would pick the Vikings?
Yeah, I think the Vikings can beat the Eagles. Sure.
Well, I'm picking the Eagles.
They're gonna have to. They're gonna have to go. They're gonna have to go to Minnesota. No, they're not.
They're not.
Minnesota's division winner. Yeah, they still gonna have to go through Philly. Okay, because they need to change that playoff seating too. Like even if you win a division, you shouldn't. It still should be record based as far as home field advantage.
They talked about that last. They're gonna talk about that during the all season. You talking about for the home game?
Yeah. Because because you know, I mean, Detroit and the Vikings, they should have been still 1-2 for real.
In the season, you mean?
Yeah.
I agree with that. So then you got the Bills at the Ravens or vice versa.
That's going to be the game of the week for me. Yeah. I think that's going to be tough. I don't even know.
Is it Bills at Ravens or are they at the Bills?
They at Bills.
They at Bills. Yeah,
at Bills. At Bills, but I ain't gonna lie, man. The way the Ravens played, I gotta go with the Ravens, dog. Because they
going with the Ravens. Who won the last game when they played? They played.
I think they split, didn't they?
No,
I don't remember.
They're not. They only played once. I think I can't remember.
I want to say the Ravens got them, but I can't. But I don't know the way Derrick Henry and Lamar looking right now. They get Zay Flowers back next week. I got the Ravens. It's gonna be a tough one, but
I think it's gonna be tough. Yeah, I don't really have I don't have no definite on that. That's just me going with the Ravens, and I think Lamar is just really he really wants this Super Bowl. So you know,
he stepped his game up this year. He still got the legs, but he was much better. He see the field better now. His progression is show this year.
Coach ain't never believe him as a quarterback. Oh yeah, he hated him as a quarterback. That's right.
You know, I don't like him. Yeah. So I mean, the one thing I will say about the Ravens this year is they do got Derrick Henry, bro.
Yeah, Derrick Henry.
Yeah, that's a big difference.
And that makes Lamar's job easier.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
But it makes it so much danger because it used to be they can just key on Lamar. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Just key Lamar, stop Lamar. That's the end of the journey. All we got to do is stop Lamar. Now,
you gotta focus on both of them because Derrick is out there. Yeah,
Derrick is nasty.
King Henry out there.
Now I will say this, and call it what you want to call it. It was 21-0 against the Steelers. They probably could have routed the Steelers. I think the Bills offense can expose the Ravens defense.
It's gonna be a game.
It's gonna be a game.
I think that's gonna be a tough game for them to win. So if I had to pick one, Josh Allen is a bad boy too now. I don't know. I think because of home field advantage, I would go with the Bills. But I can see the Ravens beat them too. So it's both of y'all with Ravens.
I'm going with the Ravens.
Yeah, I'm going Ravens.
I'm going with Ravens. I think Houston gonna get them.
Houston gonna get who? Kansas City?
Yeah.
Nah, no way. No way. Not happening. A, the NFL ain't gonna let that happen. B,
Pat Mahomes ain't letting that happen.
B, Pat Mahomes and the coach. What's my man? Andy Reid. Andy Reid, a monster, son.
They the healthiest that they've been all season.
True.
And
They
you
got
want
their
to talk
receivers
about, and
back.
you want to talk about, yeah, Andy Reid. I think he's a phenomenal coach, man. I
Yeah,
don't even know.
he
And
one of
I
the
and
best
I don't think
coaches ever.
he gonna have them ready, and it ain't nothing to slip on. He gonna come out that
Yeah.
joint on all cylinders,
Yeah,
dog.
they ain't gonna come out rusty. They gonna come out like they've been off for 2 weeks. They gonna come out ready. They ain't gonna come out rusty. They gonna come out ready to play.
I got you.
So I don't think Houston going to win, even though they did a great
What's the
had a
spread?
great game against the Chargers, 7.5.
That's closer than what
Man,
I
but
would have
that's
thought
because
it would have been.
them high spreads because of the buys, man.
Yeah, bye week counts though. What do you mean? The bye week is crucial.
Yeah,
It could be
You know what I'm
detrimental.
saying? The bye week is crucial. Shoot, you know the reason why I don't think because all the injuries that Philadelphia have, I know when they get to Detroit, even though Detroit is playing us, I mean, unless they get some key injuries too, because they lost Darius Slay, they lost I think another like defensive defensive, not a defensive back, but Slay is a monster. Shoot, them losing him is going to be the worst thing that can happen because their defense, because that dude shuts shit down. So
Yeah.
I think that to lose a corner safety, whatever the hell he is, but to lose him, he to me he's a huge key part of their defense and them being able to play the way they can play because he locks people up. But anyway, but then those injuries count. So that bye week is crucial, man, in my opinion. So I got Detroit.
That's why y'all gotta play D. Montgomery this week.
Yeah, and Montgomery coming back too. Yeah. Well, like I said, I already said I don't think we're gonna win, but I'm still gonna watch and root.
yeah.
but I'm just like I said, I'm happy that we got here, brother. That's all that is got here. I done put my stuff away, brought it out, put it away, brought it out. So,
I think it's gonna be a closer game than everybody think, man.
No, I think you really want to know my true opinion. I think it's gonna be a shootout. I think it's gonna be back and forth all game.
Hey,
yeah.
I like us. I like us in the
I'll
shootout.
put it this way.
I like us in a close game.
Defense gonna be able to stop the team offense.
If Jaden Reed don't come out, I'm not Jaden Reed, goddamn, Jaden Daniels don't come out from the beginning and get going, then it's gonna be two things. He start out and it becomes a shootout, or because if that first quarter he ain't drive and score, it's gonna be demolishing. It's gonna be
man,
a
we just can't get
mollywop.
down. We can't get down. We can't get down by no double digits. We just need to keep it close. Need to keep it close. And I think we could pull out a close game. We've been doing it. But
I'll be honest with you, our defense has played way better than I thought they were going to play this season.
Hey,
way better.
Like they've been holding. You know what I mean? Secondary, they give up plays. They definitely give up plays, but they keep the ball in front of them, and they've been doing all right in the red zone. That's what been keeping us around. Their red zone defense has been all right when they ain't, doing no pass interference in the back of the end zone, getting them on the one. But their red zone defense been pretty good because that's how we won this week for real. Those we had some red zone stops, and then of course the turnover.
Y'all winning a turnover battle in just about every game, except that Eagles game.
And you know what else is helping this?
We didn't win turnover. We still won the game.
Time of possession, man. Like.
They got the ball. They got the ball
holding the ball for
they
so long. Like they doing like 8-9 minute drives, man. Like the whole quarter.
I got a quick question for you, Matty. How you feel about the fourth down going forward mantra that some teams and they are doing? Like the Skins have that fourth down. We going fourth thing. Yeah, but I'm saying I like that mantra though. I like that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I like that.
Especially when you've been converting them as high as they converting them this year. Like they it's like they got like a 80% conversion rate on fourth downs. So
I mean, let's call a spade, dog. As long as you ain't doing it in a dumb environment, bro. Like as long as you ain't doing it on like your 20-yard line.
Yeah, you across the 50.
Like it's a one play difference, to be honest with you. So like you get a ball up on the 45 on their side of the field, okay. Dog, like the score, I don't think the scoring odds go up.
Hey, but anyway, we're gonna go ahead. Your Rams are already up, dog. 10-0. That's what
You know
that's
why?
what Reese is saying.
Because they
I don't know why.
blitz. They blitz like their Babas blitz as much as Detroit.
Yeah. Okay.
And Williams ain't no joke.
All right. So we got everything. Do we got all the games that we're gonna do? Yeah, that's
they
it.
blitz. Well, we can't
We're gonna
pick
see.
yet, but
Yeah, we
y'all
gotta wait
say
for that
y'all
last
said
game.
y'all
Right
got
now, ain't no
Philly
money
either
on it.
way. But if the Rams, I don't know. I just don't have Philly winning. I think the Rams can beat Philly too.
You do?
Yeah.
I think it's possible, but
I think it's travel. I think coming on this side is going to be tough for them.
Yeah, I just know once they play the Rams and then have to go to Detroit, then Detroit going to whoop them. I feel like Detroit's going to win. It's going to be. My opinion is it's either going to be the Ravens, Detroit, or Kansas City, Detroit. So, in my opinion, but
you don't think Detroit going to sell it? I don't know.
Nah, my joint is Kansas City. Like I said, Detroit. I think Detroit going to make it. Yeah, Detroit going to the bowl. I think it's good for the NFL. I think they want it. I think it's a bunch. I think it's a great story. Detroit. You remember when Detroit was they couldn't even get a win. So this is going to be great for the city. So and stuff like that. So anyway, but so we'll get ready in this show. Next week we're going to have a limited show. We're going to run it quickly and before the national championship. This weekend I'll be with my daughter, so I'll be broadcasting live a lot this weekend. It'll be my daughter's 18th birthday, and just spending time with her, doing the things out there. But I'm broadcasting because really because she wants me to, and because it's a highlight the success that the success that she has accomplished, and the success that I accomplished of being her pops. So I'm proud of her, and I want to highlight it. And she wants me to highlight it, so it's going to be good. We're going to have a good time out in New York, and I'll be broadcasting through the weekend. Monday we'll do a quick show and just talk about the national championship and what's going on. I don't really watch college like that, but Nash should be joining us, so Coach, you can have more of that conversation. I don't know how much college you watch. Matty, you watch a lot of college, or you don't? You said you don't, right?
Nah.
But we'll just had a quick conversation. Then the following week after that, we'll have our boy. We'll have Desmond's going to join us from the Sippin' and Trippin' podcast. He's going to join us, and also we'll have Sergeant Jamil Garrett, who is a favorite from the show. I'm pretty sure he's a favorite for Reese as well, and he's the mental health and drug specialist, also negotiator. So he'll be coming back on. Hopefully, we'll get some news on this book we've been waiting for the last 2 years. And see what's going on with that. But I know he definitely follows the show and is excited to hang out with us and have a good time, talk about mental health and why Black men don't get therapy and stuff like that. And just have a good show, fellas. I think tonight was a good show. Definitely going to reschedule Johnathon Newton. I want to thank him again for coming out and joining us. Make sure you check out all his endeavors from the Now I Know Where I'm going to Get My Car Fixed at, and also where to go to get some good food. So it's the Lunchbox down on Main and Upper Marlboro, Maryland, and also Capitol Heights is Poppy's Tacos. You can definitely check them out. They're on Uber Eats, Matty Ice, and Coach. Give them a call. Them Berry Tacos are on point. I can vouch for those for sure. And like you said, on Sunday, got the soul food thing going on. Getting ready to come for more. So I definitely want to thank him for his time and the great conversation that we had. I knew he would be a great guest, but I definitely exceeded my expectations. And I can't wait till we bring him back again and have him again, fellas. And, everybody just have a good weekend out there. So,
hey,
y'all good? Anything y'all got to say? Any parting words?
All is well.
All right, hell to the Commanders. God
Let's
bless.
get this upset this weekend.
Good night.